Welcome to the Wrestling Fan, the Wrestling Show. I'm the big beefy boy, Shaz Beef, and today I'm joined by my fellow marks, Johnny the Beast Mortos, Ciaran Dunphy, and my fellow old buck, Morro. Gentlemen, how's Christmas Fairgy?
Oh, fantastic. Christmas fairly good.
Fairly well.
Fairly well.
Yeah.
It was a delight.
I slept for most of it. I was a sleepy
did not
guy.
sleep much.
No, sleep is the one thing I'm
I
missing.
drank pints of creamy ales.
How creamy.
Oh, the creamiest of ales.
In the spirit of the season, we've got the coffees.
Got yourself
and we
yourself
got
a creamy
the
ale.
last of the Christmas cans.
The dregs of the Beast
fridge.
Mortos' fridge.
Yeah.
He brought me a can of 7-Up.
We're recording at 9 a.m.
Gentlemen,
actually
it is a
7
pleasure that all four of us are here.
It's the office party.
It's the office.
It's the office Christmas party.
Yeah, just after
We're
Christmas.
banging tonight.
The last podcast we said that we were going to do almost like a year in review, but I thought that was what
We're
the last podcast
We're doing
was.
it even if I have to do it on my own, because then I can give all the awards to AEW.
You want to give all the awards to Swerve.
Actually, I do. Would
Yeah.
you believe when I sat down to write my awards,
But
it was Swerve heavy.
When I was trying to think of Wrestler of the Year, I was like, yeah, it's probably Swerve.
Oh, okay, we're going to start off with doing year-end awards, are we? Okay, who's everyone's wrestler of 2024? Let's follow the lead here, guys.
No, I was just going to say, we're going to get into what our topic was, but it is...
I actually picked Swerve.
My wrestler of the year is Drew McIntyre. I want to make that clear to everyone. I think
That's fair.
Drew
Very
McIntyre was the wrestler of the year for me.
He was endlessly captivating all year.
This was the year where he solidified himself, found his end game character, I think.
Yeah, that's what I felt about Seth Rollins just around WrestleMania 38.
He finally got
He
it.
finally got his set character. Yeah. He finally got what was
Takes
his
a
own.
while.
Your wrestler of the year?
Swerve, but I mean he was injured for half of it. But CM Punk.
CM Punk.
I mean, what is if it's in ring and
What
and
is
promo?
a wrestler, John?
Yeah.
What is a wrestler?
Where does it stop?
Theater kid.
But yeah, Punk, a wonderful, fabulous year from Punk.
We had talked about
Low-key, yeah.
we talked about the state of wrestling. He was very annoyed. You said Alan Marr didn't like some of my takes. Can you
Jamie.
remember any of those takes?
Any of your WWE takes.
Alan's really going to have to come on here and explain himself sometime.
Yeah.
At this stage, he's that recurring character whose face you've never seen.
He's just shouting at the laptop every day. He's
yeah.
like, no.
He goes out for a walk and then he angrily texts me about Shane's WWE text.
Can't believe he said CM Punk and Drew McIntyre.
No, he actually loves CM Punk.
Al does, yeah.
He does, yeah.
But what he disagreed with the Punk.
No, it wasn't the Punk stuff he disagreed with.
No, I
I think
think
it's Shane's love for WWE that he disagreed with.
I think he
His
does.
over the top, consistent love.
I think he does agree though that CM Punk and Drew McIntyre had a better strap match than MJF and CM
That
Punk.
is the worst take of all time.
That is the worst take that he tried to attribute to me, and which there is solid evidence online that I didn't say that.
Yeah, that's fair.
That was it was ill conceived. I think Al regrets bringing that one as his key
Talk
point.
about tribalism, man. Talk about tribalism.
No,
he has it out against me. He's on the AEW side of this podcast.
There's a lot of tribal fans
Why is there an
anti
AEW
Shane.
side of this podcast? Why do we need sides? Why can't we all
Yeah.
just...
Yeah,
why can't we
Morro.
all just be wrestling friends?
You know what side I'm on? I'm on the side of professional wrestling.
What a mark.
Fuck you! You said last.
I'm on the side of professional wrestling.
This is not how
I
how
sit
you deal
here.
with conflict.
This is exactly how wrestling is.
I sit here weekly and I defend the art of professional
You bitch
wrestling.
about you.
This is a true office party.
You son of a bitch.
And we're starting today with the airing of grievances.
You said you hated it. You don't even watch it as much anymore.
Do you know what? Actually, since our last podcast,
Classic, though. I've been
I've
watching.
really enjoyed
Yeah,
the
same.
Continental Classic.
See, Continental Classic got me back into it last year. This year, it didn't even
Register
help.
for
It didn't.
it.
Yeah.
It's been good,
it's
but not as
it's
good.
not as good as last year.
Not as good, no way.
But I do like the fact that they're doing the semi-finals and finals on the same night.
Yeah, like old King of Ring
Like
style.
old King
I
of
love
Ring
that.
style,
Where they're
yeah,
walking wrecked for the final.
Like I remember,
Brett going through 3 guys.
yeah, like this could be Osprey, like in true Christmas party fashion.
In true Brett fashion.
Like Osprey,
We're not getting into Brett, right?
He was a heartthrob, wasn't
Brett
he?
was always right.
He was
He was
always
never a
wrong. I
lonesome
agree with
dove.
that.
like you could have Osprey doing the Brett run where he has a banger with Fletcher and then a banger with either a Ricochet or like a real banger, Christmas banger. Christmas
Are you
cracker.
gonna watch World's End? Is that on tonight?
Immortals End is on tonight.
Tomorrow night or tonight?
Tonight.
Tonight.
This weekend, anyway.
The
What day is
30th.
today?
The
Saturday.
Okay. It's not Friday anymore.
Yeah, sorry to break your. Anyway, we're not talking about AW. Sorry, Alan.
We're actually talking about WWE.
I don't know how what a start to the
Who
podcast.
chose this topic?
Was you?
It was me.
We're going to book.
Actually, no. Well, actually, it was Shane, but I rallied in.
Yeah, you got in behind it very
I was
strong.
really enthusiastic about at this point of the year now, where a lot of like loose strands flying around. Could we sufficiently predict the road to WrestleMania
Yeah, I think that's a fucking awesome.
based on all the evidence and current directions that we have on the
Mercy.
table?
As a man who hasn't watched much wrestling for 3 months, I think I have a real good chance here of booking this Mania.
Your grasp is going to be strong.
Yeah, very solid.
Where's Marcy?
Question.
Yeah.
Are we predicting what we think Paul Triple H Levesque is going to do? Or are we predicting what we would like him to
I think
do?
what we think will happen.
I think it's better to look at everything all the evidence that's on the table,
cards
and then
that are on the
sketch
table.
out what way his direction seems.
You
to
can
go.
always give your opinion and say I'd prefer it like
Okay,
this.
perfect. That's all I
Cena
want.
Hogan.
Cena Hogan, come on, finally, guys, the match we've all wanted.
Get Big Show back. We're going to recreate WrestleMania 3.
Because I think there's two things we need to keep in mind here. There's actually one thing we need to keep in mind here
think
is
there's a
that
lot of things to keep in
he
mind.
has, like, it's the Rock factor.
The Rock factor is the biggest variable.
Yeah.
The Netflix
Like
factor.
it was last year.
And like, it's not like maybe even the Vince McMahon era where you look at the WrestleMania card and maybe you have hope that it's going to be booked a certain way, which is dashed, or you can just see well in advance how shit it's going to be.
Yeah.
With this, there are so many spinning plates of stories and character directions. And it's but the Rock, you could look at a lot of it and go, oh yeah, certain things you think are going to happen, as we will discuss. But in terms of the main events, I feel like the Rock is the biggest variable factor right now because nobody knows for sure if he's available.
And if the knock-on effect down the card of that is huge.
I think
It really is.
I think The Rock is unquestionably available. Like, he is going to be all over that Netflix stuff to
That
start
red
off.
one did not
I
go
feel
well.
like here's my take on it
movie.
again, and this is the joy of the detective work of this kind of thing at the moment is a lot of the storylines as they are bloodline wise seem to be pointing towards the fact that The Rock is returning on the first Raw, and there's going to be some interaction between him and Roman.
When have we seen The Rock?
Roman and Solo.
When have we seen Rock last when he came out at the end? Is that
Bad Blood, yeah.
Bad
Yeah,
Blood.
Bad
when he
Blood.
came out and had a stare down
So what is the
Roman.
significance
still
of that?
here.
Yeah, the significance of that is this is a teaser for what's to come. So he's 100%.
Significance of that is he was in the building. He was in the
Personally,
you don't finish with it, though.
Personally, I think the nuclear heat angle and the
post-credit scene.
the kind of nuclear heat angle in terms of what will jumpstart this into WrestleMania that could very well happen on January 6th is that it's all about the
January 6th.
Insurrection.
Oh, no, it's the insurrection of the bloodline. Shit. But there is something in that in terms of like they're fighting for the Ulafala,
Yeah.
the tribal chief thing.
the undisputed tribal chief. Surely The Rock is going to come out of that wearing the Ulafala. And that's the true line for
And does that unite the bloodline then again? Like
No.
the OG and the other bloodline? Or
I would my current prediction is that they'll just go full bore on the bloodline civil war stuff, run into WrestleMania because it's the hot story to have. And I do think that there's no reason if Rock can do it, like do Rock and Roman now.
they'll turn on Solo.
That's what they should do.
Will they turn on Solo?
But The
OG.
Rock himself, he'll want to work Cody.
No, I think he'll want to work his cousin. No.
I feel
Why not? Sorry, just to feel that out.
I know there's been a lot of teasers and like there's a lot of setup for Rock and Cody, but I can't.
It doesn't make sense.
Based on the current trajectory, I can't see that coming into focus for
I
WrestleMania.
don't think the trajectory matters a fuck to The Rock. He don't give a shit.
He's not watching the show every week, is he?
No, fuck, he's not.
Yeah, but he's
why would he
listening to the
want Cody
fans, man.
over-
Man, fuck this.
Because he showed up last year and realised that the money is with Cody.
Yeah, but who does it?
That's
The
where all-
Rock.
He's
that-
The Rock.
That's where all the
That's all
best
he cares
verticals
about.
are.
Yeah, but I think Netflix, like, they're going to want Roman front and center for the.
They are, but The Rock doesn't give a shit what any of them want.
He does though. He
doesn't.
It's
He
money.
doesn't.
It's money. Of course he
No,
does.
but the money
I
is
think
with
the money.
Cody.
The
money's
money.
not.
I don't think the money is with Cody.
In The Rock's mind.
I think
How,
there.
are you in his head?
Yeah.
Are you friends with
Look,
Dwayne?
listen,
Text Dwayne there now.
Look, I can't text Dwayne. It's early in
Can I
Hawaii.
ask you before we're on the? Where does the road to WrestleMania start for you?
It starts
Survivor Series.
It starts Survivor
Yeah,
Series.
Survivor
All right,
Series
good.
is a Survivor Series traditionally has been the ideal setup time for us.
Okay, so
Now, Paul is a crap booker, so it doesn't matter.
yeah, at Survivor Series War Games, right? You had Roman still willing to take in Solo. He offers to give him the hug at the end, and then he doesn't, and he gets hit with everyone's finisher. And this is what I want to get on. If The Rock comes out and he establishes himself at January 6th Raw as the Udafali guy.
As the president.
The president of the bloodline.
The true tribal chief.
Yeah, the true tribal chief would do the likes of Jacob Fatu and the Tangaloas and the Tangatongas and the Hikalelus. Do they go with The Rock?
Initially, I think,
and then the Solo kind of revert back.
I think so. I think some tag team action between the OG bloodline and
the sooner Solo needs to drop back to like mid card, upper mid card as soon as possible.
But what I'm saying is, do they turn on Solo?
Yeah,
like Jacob Fatu turning on Solo. That's a big match in itself for WrestleMania.
Instead of him saying "I love you, Solo," he's going to say "I hate you, Solo."
No, but I love you, The Rock.
I do feel that we might see like some quite a la WrestleMania last year, post WrestleMania. We might see some kind of very clean bloodline reset. They reset the bloodline after WrestleMania 40. They might reset it again. I think they're definitely going to reset it once The Rock is the leader, if that's the path they're going on. The big question mark in terms of The Rock's involvement for me, and the biggest thing that like makes me think that they're setting the table for him not to be there, is the current Drew McIntyre storyline, where Drew is this kind of bounty hunter of the bloodline and he's taking them all out individually. The trajectory of that storyline obviously has to lead Roman to Drew.
Would you not think though, so you're talking about the start of WrestleMania, this year's different though, like the start of WrestleMania for as a company, they have to be thinking we're going to have all these new fans coming in, so WrestleMania season actually starts on January 6th. It didn't start this year at Survivor Series. Didn't start.
I don't know, because like they made a big play at Saturday Night Main Event to bring in these new fans and to keep them updated with the current storylines that are going.
I think this is brand new. They're going to be thinking in the boardroom, going like, this is brand new stuff. So like, yeah, that's why we'll get Punk and Rollins like this big match, but it'll be done maybe not. But I think they'll be starting something huge on that January 6th show.
Yeah, which could be The Rock as the leader of the bloodline.
I think that is what
I think they're going to try and land that night with a really big change of direction and massive moment in terms of the bloodline saga, because that is...
What about the bloodline raiding WWE similar to the insurrection happening in Capitol Hill, where they'll utilise that element?
Retribution comes back.
They will create their own president, i.e. The Rock.
The Rock, perfect.
Yeah. And he is like a shareholder, one of the big shareholders.
And Solo will be the Mike Pence of the situation.
Like they could. Jokes aside, they could actually do like a big angle. Yeah, big angle.
If Vince was involved, I would say something like that would be very
Triple H, no.
I don't think he'd play on
historical significance of the date.
Stuff like that. I think that's a cheap play based on the date.
Yeah.
I think that Vince would do something like that. I don't think Triple H would.
I think we're going to see like the right wing side of WWE come out in a big fantasy where Solo gets actually killed, like they wished Mike Pence would have.
Wow.
Fucking, we're going deep on this book.
I don't know much about politics, but I hope.
I don't think anyone's dying.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so if January 6th you're looking at as the big kickoff point then for it, you mentioned the other players that are announced for that card. Does Rhea and Liv finish there?
Hopefully.
It should finish on the Monday Night Raw debut on Netflix, but that was the one I found very hard to book going into WrestleMania season, because I'm not exactly sure what trajectory is going to be there. I think Rhea and Liv is exhausted.
To me it feels it's exhausted ages ago.
I don't know who they're going to replace. Like who. I feel like it's going to be Rhea going into WrestleMania season, but who's she going to be up against?
Becky?
I was about to say, did they bring Becky in on January?
There's talks of Becky coming back for...
Becky is completely viable. I have a sneaking suspicion that, like, in terms of... Because Punk and Rollins was always the locked-in WrestleMania match, and Becky apparently is coming back on the Netflix debut as well. Sneaking suspicion that they could, in terms of keeping the Punk-Rollins feud going, like, if it was Punk, AJ, Lee against... Rollins and Becky.
I'd have no interest in that.
Would you have no interest? I feel it would add a lot of juice to it. I don't know maybe if the women necessarily need it, but like I feel like it could be a direction they could go in.
I think Becky, she was put out of action.
Like Becky,
her last match was against Liv, losing the title to her.
Maybe a triple threat to juice things up.
Could be a triple threat. Actually, they do like doing women's triple threats.
I feel like Liv.
I don't think that Becky has anything though. There was no there was no like the live match. It didn't feel like it needed any follow up whatsoever. It was just Becky. Everyone knew she was heading off for a while, and it was just lay down your back.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Now she has a reason to come back. She's seen Liv, and she wants her title back.
Do you think she'd go straight like that?
Because you have to look at it, right?
Not like a Cena return where you just don't go for a title. You just do a big monumental match.
He's going for a title
this year.
It's 20 years after his last one. We'll get into that motherfucker as well.
Like, right.
Actually, when I clipped up a piece of asking you, do you have any interest in seeing him win the history thing? And both of us were like, no. Some fucker wrote underneath going, you can tell that lad has a screensaver of the Young Bucks has it on his phone. And I'm like, they were talking about me. They were talking about me, and I was like, are you for fucking real, lad? I love the way the internet works.
Brand new fan right there.
Yeah, but if we're looking at the women's side of things, Nia and Tiffany have their story. That's probably only coming at WrestleMania.
Do you think so?
I think it comes Rumble.
I feel like Nia's going to be. She's getting a great run at the moment, but like I feel
she's going to be out of the picture by Mania.
She'll be out of the picture.
Nia Rhea?
No.
Like who'd you put up against Rhea?
Like the brands are switching up as well.
The SmackDown side, I feel like the WrestleMania match is going to be.
But like for
Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton
makes the most sense.
I can see Tiffany.
Have they done Charlotte Rhea?
Yeah, loads of times.
Yeah, they have.
But like at a
the best
big
women's match at WrestleMania
ever.
They did two at Mania. Didn't they do one for the NXT title as well during COVID?
That weird COVID period.
Because like you need for Rhea, you need someone like a legitimate threat.
Yeah, Becky Lynch.
I'm not too juiced about
after Nia's year. I think it'd be a good one for her.
Who wins the Rumble?
On the men's side,
women's.
Oh, women's
side.
So the Rumble is the biggest indicator of where it could go.
You have Liv as champion. You have Nia as champion. We're going to have 3 major events before it in terms of the debuts, because SmackDown has to debut on Netflix as well. You're going to have 4 big events: Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber,
and 2 debuts on Netflix.
The Elimination Chamber could possibly be for the women's title.
Elimination Chamber is Canada this year, is it? Rogers Centre?
Yeah.
So
the location of WrestleMania 6.
Big stadium too.
Sky Dome was the location of WrestleMania 6.
See, why are you saying that? Because Canadian main eventer.
You what?
Like you bring up Canada as you put someone Canadian in there in the top.
Well, for the Elimination Chamber, yes, certainly. I feel like Kevin Owens is going to be taking that box in terms of
and Sammy
the
maybe
W Championship scene, and Sammy as well to a degree. And isn't Chelsea Green Canadian? No, she's not.
So does the Rumble? Is the Rumble about Owens maybe a little bit?
Well, I think there's only one winner of the Rumble.
On the women's side, no, we have to finish the
we'll get onto Owens and we'll get onto the whole
the women's one I actually can't pick. That's why I think Becky Lynch.
My hunch is maybe Charlotte. I think
Charlotte's won it already.
A really good call.
Charlotte has won already. So I think maybe her is the first 2-time winner.
Do you know what I could see happening there is earlier in the night Tiffany finally cashes in on Nia and then Charlotte wins the women's Rumble.
I think Charlotte would get Roman heat if she won the Rumble.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think that's the point though, isn't it?
Do you not think to bring back his face?
Oh God, Charlotte is the worst face of all
I know that, but like
she's tried. I don't know how you Tiffany has to be face against her.
Has to be. No, I know we're booking this match and it's not like any set up for it yet, but I feel like that's a very logical match.
So the SmackDown women's title, would you put down Charlotte and Tiffany as the match?
I think that's the match. So, yeah. That's the match I predict is going to happen.
Like if you're WWE there, and you know, like Charlotte's getting to an edge now where her ability to be around full time, she hasn't been full time in how long now, really? You know what I mean?
But if she has her father's constitution,
she'll never leave.
She will never stop.
You'll get 3 months a year out of her for the next 40 years.
And poor Andrade is getting divorced.
Is he actually?
No, well, if she has her father's constitution.
So we had a scoop there.
They need to team up together anyway, Andrade and Charlotte. I think Andrade needs to dye his hair blonde. He needs to clarify his
hair's already kind of blonde.
So good.
I would love to see a peroxide blonde Andrade.
Yeah. Any thoughts on Bianca and Jade and what they're going to do? I could see Jade coming back and winning the Rumble.
Jade winning the Rumble? That's what I'm saying.
Jade winning the Rumble.
I think that when are they pulling the trigger on Jade? Like it has to be soon.
I'm going to tell you now.
I can't see her winning the Rumble.
Never.
Why not?
Because she's not good at wrestling.
Yeah, but you don't need to be that good at wrestling to be a big star in wrestling. We've seen that a million times over.
But like, you can pull the trigger on her and have her win at SummerSlam. You don't want her in
All she needs,
Tentpole
all she needs
wrestling
is
anyway.
like all she needs is 7 or 8 moves, and then Booker is the strongest woman that ever lived.
I know, but like when we think of the people who are really successful in that role as having 7 or 8 moves and been booked strongest wrestler ever lived, they were actually good wrestlers as well.
Ultimate Warrior.
Except the Ultimate Warrior.
Thank you, Shane.
That was the first one I brought up.
Yeah.
And
Andre the Giant.
Yeah, Andre the Giant was fucking awesome.
Andre was great back in his day. He
grand.
was just broken down as fucking the
Yeah,
late
well,
80s, and he
and-
drank
and
100
also,
beers a
like,
night.
yeah.
Shat in a bat.
I think 100
Fill the bat.
I think
Fill
Jade,
that fucking
Jade
bat.
could fill the Andre the Giant role.
I don't think she could.
Come on.
Andre the
Shitting in the
Giant-
bat, like.
Andre the
She could
Giant
shit in any bat.
understood the audience.
Nia Jax is been set up for the female Andre the Giant role. That's what her current.
Like Brock Lesnar-
I'm calling it Jade win the Rumble, saying it.
yeah,
Fair, right, Charlotte is my prediction, and we're going to get Charlotte
I'm
Tiffany.
going to go with John on the Charlotte train here.
On the Raw side of things, I can't see, like, Rhea's not going to win
I
it.
can just see
Becky doesn't
Becky
need
versus
it.
Io
Rhea.
Sky- Io-
EO is the one that's an outside bet as like the
Yeah.
first time Royal Rumble winner.
Bianca?
She's won it already.
She's won it, yeah.
And also,
But also,
it's very
Bianca is
clearly...
Can she win again?
she's a tag team champion.
Would you not bring it down to Bianca and Jade, and then Jade finally turns and pushes Bianca, fucking throws her out? That's it.
I think
Winner.
Bianca turns on Jade.
I think you have to go
I think
Jade.
Jade has to be the heel.
Yeah. I
No,
think so.
but Bianca.
I do think Jade has
Bianca,
to be the heel.
when was
Because Jade
Bianca?
can sell and baby faces need to be able to sell.
I think Bianca is definitely going to be the heel.
Well,
Okay.
like, I just think Bianca's the best wrestler.
I'm going
in the
last
company,
two,
like.
Jade, Bianca, Jade wins.
Do you think Naomi might have the women's title because she's got a big
No.
she's got a big title match coming up in Nia Jax? Is there going to be a switch there?
No.
It's going to be a cash in from Tiffany.
Yeah, at Royal Rumble.
Naomi
I feel
will
like
never.
we're getting very close to that paying off. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think they're waiting for Mania on that because I think Tiffany's in a singles match at Mania for the title.
I do feel the likely candidate because it's been a kind of fantasy booked match since her NXT days, but is Tiffany against Charlotte.
yeah.
So
Or Tiffany winning it in an elimination chamber?
I think I don't know.
Because
Could do that.
you were talking about
You could do that.
doing it at War Games.
Yeah.
Remember
It was really interesting
Yeah.
that they've suggested it at a lot of
Yeah.
points, but yeah, you could do that elimination
What
chamber. and
you
it
could do
reset.
in an elimination chamber that'd be really interesting is she gets pinned, and as she's leaving, she grabs the briefcase, batters everyone with it, and then cashes it in.
Yeah.
runs off the belt.
Yeah.
Ruins the match.
Who's
Takes her ball and goes home. That's my ball. You're
who'll
not
be the
playing it.
Iron Woman of the Rumble? Who will last longest?
Bianca.
Do you think so? I think Bianca's had a
Oh,
lot.
that sets it up for Jade even more.
I think
Bianca
Io.
all the
I think
way.
I think
Actually, I think
Bianca's-
it's EO this year. That makes more sense. Yeah.
Io after I know she did the moonsault. They seem to be pushing her a lot more consistently now.
You've changed my mind just by saying her name.
Yeah. What about Alexa Bliss? She coming back?
Don't care.
Nikki Cross?
I think
I like
Nikki's
Nikki
going to be
Cross.
involved in Wyatt shenanigans all the way
Yeah.
up through WrestleMania season.
And we're never going to see her on pay-per-view. She's going to
We'll
be
see her
on.
in the Rumble.
Will we see Lyra,
gonna see her
Lyra in the
Rumble.
Rumble?
Lyra will be in the Rumble, of
100%.
course.
That'd be great.
They
100%.
seem to be big on her.
Well, she's
Possible
awesome.
intercontinental
Class.
title
Yeah,
run.
Fucking deadly.
That's the thing with like predicting WrestleMania season this year. There's so many more belts now in the mix.
Yeah.
Too many.
Happy Christmas.
But I don't know if they're.
Like, if this was AEW adding all these belts, to be a certain beefy boy on this podcast giving out about it.
All right, Men's Rumble.
This guy.
Men's Rumble.
I think it's
John
Cena.
Cena.
NXT call ups though. Julia, Stephanie McCour.
Not yet. No.
For the Rumble.
A debut
Oh, in the Rumble. In the Rumble. Yeah, very possible.
Lads, it's very, very possible we see Tessa Blanchard in there.
It is actually.
Jordan Grace.
I'd love
Jordan Grace will be in there.
I have had,
Tessa.
I know Tessa Blanchard's a right off as a human being, but
It's fucking class.
I think one of the best things that Charlotte Flair has on the table for her going forward is
it
some
Tessa
sort
match?
of
Flair v. Blanchard.
like
Yeah.
for Charlotte to do her kind of have her Arn Anderson type storyline with fucking Tessa Blanchard. I'd love to see two of them face off, and it could happen.
Do you think it happened? I don't think WWE would.
I think-
go that deep.
Bringing in Tessa Blanchard so quickly.
Bring Tessa in just to run a Terry Blanchard
There
versus.
was talks
Ric
that
Flair.
she's brought into TNA as like a softener for when she does come to WWE.
It probably
But-
is.
But like the
See how-
online world they're never going to be soft when it
I
comes
mean,
to that kind of
like
shit.
So good in the ring,
so
though.
many women in
I
so
don't
many
think
locker rooms
WWE give
buried
a
her.
shit.
I don't think they give a shit either. There's like
also-
100
and
there's 100 cases
Chelsea
of
Green
fighting.
as well.
Like, look at like WWE do not give a shit
About
about
that
what
stuff, yeah.
we talk about on Twitter.
So can we? You think Charlotte, Tiffany? We think maybe Jade and Bianca. Can we all? Do we all have to agree on what?
No, we don't.
No, we
if we're
don't.
picking Iggy, but we have to pick the card, right?
But can we look back on this episode?
This
and
is the booking
give
committee
each other dead
now.
arms.
This is WWE booking committee. What are we going with?
Look, I'm going with Charlotte. Tiffany.
Charlotte's been in the Royal Rumble, and then Tiffany Stratton, I think, is going to cash in Money in the Bank pretty soon, and she will be the champion in the run-in.
Charlotte win the Rumble. Like, just saying it makes me not want to watch the Rumble.
Yeah. On Raw.
You don't have to.
On Raw, is it Becky and Liv?
You haven't watched it 3 months, on you?
Rumble season.
Becky and Liv is usually mentioned, but like, how are you getting Rhea out of that picture?
You have to do Rhea. Maybe triple threat.
That's why I think I do feel like the mixed tag thing with Becky is maybe a more high profile thing.
See, I think Punk isn't with Rollins at Mania.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think they're getting rid of that storyline.
I think Punk's "You Owe Me a Favor" to Paul Heyman is the main event of WrestleMania.
It's Roman
and that's why I don't think John Cena's winning the Royal Rumble. I think CM Punk is winning the Royal Rumble.
I don't think Punk needs to win the Rumble.
I hope he wins it.
Because I don't think Punk is fighting for a title at WrestleMania.
So like, hold on, what shot does Punk call then? Like, what's his
favor is that he
Mania.
No. I think
is that bigger? So that kind of denigrates your titles massively.
he wants the main event at Mania.
I don't give a shit.
And the best way to do it is to come in last at the Royal Rumble.
How does he get number 30?
Paul Heyman calling in a favour. He's sorting him out with.
So, and he's heel then.
Not necessarily.
It's very
It's a
heelish.
heel move.
It is a heel move, but like the way Punk is such a good storyteller, he goes, "This is what I've always wanted. This is the means I'm going."
But then
he can still.
But it sounds kind of like Silver Spoon, Cody Rhodes talk.
But it's CM Punk. He can talk. He can talk his way around.
I mean, potentially going off what happened in Survivor Series, you can build a Punk Roman a feud. It's a big match.
I think they're doing it, lads.
You think they are?
Yeah.
No,
Do you think that's bigger than like Roman?
Night 2 of a blood money covered dick suck off competition.
So what are you doing, Rock?
To be
The
fair,
Rock isn't there.
The Rock is there, man.
telling you he's not coming.
Why is he coming out at the end of Bad Blood?
Because he's The Rock and he wanted a pop and
No,
he
it
had
doesn't-
Mona coming out
no,
in cinemas.
no, he
he's
literally-
also keeping the
changed-
storyline simmering for when he can come back and when he can plug back into it.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
I don't think he wants Roman.
we're
though.
not.
You're wrong.
I think The Rock wants Cody anyway.
I'm talking about
I feel like it should be The Rock and
he's
Roman.
getting Roman.
This is $1 billion. It's not like it was. The Rock cannot just say, I want to. I know he's a fucking board member,
It's
TKO. But
absolutely The Rock can come in and call it
no,
shot.
he's not going to do it that way.
was Vince McMahon's illegitimate son.
Yeah,
that's how they paid off that story.
But it's different now.
Hornswoggle was
It's not that
also
different.
It is
Hornswoggle
different.
was also the anonymous Raw GM. That's how they paid off that
That's
story.
when I stopped fucking
It's
watching.
Rock. It's Roman.
It's Rock versus Hornswoggle.
Rock Roman for the family, and that's the main event. The Rock would love that shit.
I think it is Rock Roman. Like, if The Rock is doing it, it's Rock Roman. If not, you got to put Roman with someone high profile.
It's Rock, Cody,
I think
Roman Punk.
storyline wise with Roman, there's a couple of paths. It could be Roman Drew, which could be potentially very satisfying based on the current storyline, or else it could be Roman against Punk.
That's the Roman Punk. That's what I'm calling it.
I'm still going to call Roman Rock ahead of it.
Here's what I think is the two
Nights.
whether The Rock is there or not. I have two ideas in my head. I went and I had a coffee and I reasoned this out. If The Rock's available, it's The Rock versus Cody, Roman versus Punk, Cena versus Gunther.
Night one.
No, over the 2 nights. Your triple header.
But think about it in terms of night one, night two.
So night one, I think in that case would be Roman Punk, night one, Rock Cody, night two, and then Cena Gunther you put on either, doesn't matter. And then if The Rock isn't available,
Who wins Rock Cody?
No,
Cody
he's
Cody
giving you the
wins Rock
matches now
Cody.
first. He's not
Yeah.
fucking Backlash.
Yeah.
No, it makes
We're up to SummerSlam already.
No, but if you're putting a match on, you
Cody
kind of
beats
need
The
to
Rock.
know who's going over. Like
Cody beats The Rock.
Yeah, but
Because
you
The
don't
Rock
put
pinned
two
him.
guys together.
He's getting fired at WrestleMania. He's getting fired. He doesn't need to figure it out. They brought him in emergency.
And if The Rock's not available, night one is Cody versus Cena. Night two is Rock versus,
And
Punk
Cena
versus
Cena
Roman.
beats Cody.
No, Cody beats Cena.
No, because you're not going to put Cena in the match if he's not going to win the title.
Yeah, you are.
You
That's the
totally
storyline. He's
Right,
there for
so
the year.
John-
He's there for the year. You don't want to do your 17th title run in March.
This is
when he's there
WrestleMania.
for the year.
Maybe do.
Yeah, but this
You
is
want to get it over as quickly as possible.
WrestleMania
No, you
41.
want to-
He's an
Like-
old man. He's going to be injured. Like
I know,
This
but
is
you want to take the
WrestleMania
risk.
41, 20 years after he won his first title.
Here we go.
Yeah,
The story is he doesn't win it.
He beat JBL, and it doesn't have to be the main event because the main event was Batista and Triple H. Oh my God, that was so long ago. 20 years ago. But I hope he is nowhere near that fucking main event.
I don't think Cena is going anywhere near Cody. I feel like the
Same.
path for Cena is going to be Cena Gunter or
Yes.
potentially Cena Logan Paul.
That's the
Which has
better path of
apparently been
Cena
discussed.
Gunter. the better path.
I think Cena.
People don't want to. I was reading. They don't want Cena's last WrestleMania match to be against Logan Paul. But then again, you put Kurt Angle with Baron fucking Corbin. So
yeah, but again, that was Vince McMahon. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't think he can afford not to give Cena. If the long term plan is to give Cena that title win for history's sake,
do it at Mania.
You do it as quickly as you can because injury.
Like, they've restored prestige to these world titles, to all their fucking titles. A more interesting one for me is Cena, Braun Breaker, and Sheamus. Cena and Sheamus have never won an Intercontinental title.
Cena for the NXT Championship.
I don't think, lads, when he has
Cena for the TNA World Championship.
Lads,
this counts.
Modern day WWE is surprisingly very good at storytelling since Vince McMahon left. The biggest story on the table is John Cena breaking the world, the record of the world title.
I think it has to be a chase.
Like, they're not going to plug him in for his last year and be like, he's all about the IC title now. Like, fuck that.
It's world title.
They've got a year-long storyline planned out. They've got a year-long of programs planned out. I do think that world title chase is part of it. I feel him beating Gunter at WrestleMania would actually, in a stellar match, would not harm Gunter in any way. And then Cena holds a belt for a month and then drops it back at fucking Backlash next week.
Or the opposite, actually. Gunter beating down Cena massively and Cena doesn't have it anymore, and then you go Backlash and he gets the remix.
I think you should end up doing it my preferred booking would be the Gunter Cena match. Gunter murders him, and Cena has to Rocky Tree that shit.
Yeah,
he has to win the King of the Ring.
He has to Rocky Tree it, and you chase it on. Because, let's say we know the Cena's there for a year,
but is he there? He's there for a year, but is he on TV every fucking week?
I doubt he's on TV every week, but he'll be at most pay-per-views. You could say.
You said he's going to win the Rumble.
Yeah, and then lose to Gunter at Mania.
I have no interest in seeing John Cena win another.
Cena and Charlotte Flair are two fucking Rumble winners. Cena and Charlotte Flair.
That's not what I'm interested in.
Cena and Charlotte Flair are going to win the Rumble.
What is this?
I just want to
2015. Son of a bitch.
And 6. Come on.
And 2008. And all rolled into one.
Yes. John Cena.
Fuck you, Morro.
If they're working off the fucking given circumstances of the character of John Cena in the last couple of years, he hasn't won a singles match since 2018. He's lost most of his matches that he's been involved in. He's put a lot of people over. It's not a Super Cena character. I think
they need to establish Super Cena, though.
I think
no.
No.
I would have more interest in bringing Ric Flair back to win a 17th world title than to see John Cena win one.
They should do both.
Here's how
Cena wins it, but then Flair wins it on night 2.
Yes.
And Cena has to go again.
Your main event on night 2 is Cena Flair.
Alright, let's lock it in.
We've done our job. Sorry.
I just wanted to say that if you look at the current circumstances of the John Cena character, the best version of the story that they could tell with him is to do the opposite of what they did with The Undertaker after the streak was broken, which really should have facilitated the most broken down ass fucking Clint Eastwood gunslinging version of the Undertaker character coming back for these
Gran
fights.
Torino.
Absolute Gran Torino.
Not juror number 2.
I think if you want to be, Triple H always keeps going back to the MCU as a storyline reference for the kind of stuff they're trying in WWE now. I think the best version of Cena would maybe the Royal Rumble isn't a good idea. Maybe you play with the idea for a good few months that Cena just doesn't have it anymore.
He enters the Money in the Bank, loses the ladder match, enters King of the Ring, loses all these number one.
And the clock is ticking on his on the last days of his career.
You have to do the clock ticking. Yeah.
And then what you do in the final flourish is he finds a way to become Super Cena for that last 2 months of his fucking run.
Eats
and then he's out.
Yeah, I think that's good. I like that.
And I will,
because you have the clock
fails
ticking.
again.
And fails again.
If he comes back as Super Cena,
2 years of Cena.
If he comes back as Super Cena, you're wasting so much potentially good storytelling. And what it should be is a broken down fucking fairly Hollywoodized John Cena.
And Cena would love that shit.
I think he'll want to tell a good story. He sees the good stories that have been told in WWE right now on a weekly basis.
So do you want to see him in
because
in a world title match at WrestleMania?
We know that man knows how to tell a great story. Just look at Nexus. He milked that for what it was worth.
Well, and then he fucking beat him all down.
He'll come back as Super Cena, win the Rumble, win Mania, win every match on.
I don't want him to start as Super Cena like he lost to Austin Theory at WrestleMania. Solo put him down last year. He has been so fucking beaten by losses, they should play into that. If he just comes back as Super Cena, it makes no sense. I want to see a fucking proper, like,
I'd have interest in that.
John Cena trying to rebuild himself into Super Cena.
That's the better way to go. That's the better way to go.
The only fear would be that he would be beaten down, he'd lose like all these matches that you've suggested, then he'd get injured and he'd never be able to wrestle again, and he had the worst fucking finish to his career of all time.
Hey, fucking, he might Shane McMahon that shit. He might pull every fucking muscle in his body
and still show up.
I just think, like, for marquee First Mania on Netflix,
you need all the names.
They're putting him in a super high profile spot.
Yeah, but Hall of Fame.
But he could talk a big game on Netflix, like for the first episode, and then fail ultimately. Like he can, in his own head, he can be Super Cena in his head.
I think by giving a nostalgia run to John Cena, all the good hard work that they've put into establishing these world titles is actually meaningful. Getting over all that shit where in 2009 Triple H won the title 3 times in one night. You know, restoring the vibe and the feeling to these world championships, I think, kind of gets taken away by handing it to Cena so early. So I like your idea, but I'd love if he just never did it.
Yeah, so
if he never won it, he always remained, because that era of when he won those 16 world championships, in the eyes of the fans, doesn't really fucking mean anything anyway.
Who's next?
It's all in the same company.
Also, I think as
Randy Orton is on like 14.
Yeah, where's Roman on it?
Roman's up about 10, is he?
Is he on 10?
But like,
Roman will catch Cena quite quickly.
I don't think he will.
Roman's 4-year reign means more, I think,
than any of
Cena's.
Yeah. I would agree.
Like, I think that when the world titles, when it became world title and WWE championship, and they had them passing back and forth between different wrestlers and loads of transitional champions.
Had like 7 champions a year.
Yeah, it was like no one really cares, and I don't think anyone cares about those numbers.
And the prestige of winning X amount of world titles.
The prestige of Ric Flair doing it is a bit different, because he's done it in like WCW, did it in WWE, he did it in NWA, and but there were still countless other world titles.
They still have potato the world title in the Attitude Era a lot, but it just always it never felt
but like
nobody got an obscene amount of titles.
Yeah, but they only had one title.
Yeah, one title and maybe 5 established stars that could win it. It wasn't like,
remember when Flair went up against Triple H in like 2003? And it was for the world title, and everyone's like, "Oh, you can't do it." And like, he put it up to Triple H, and he ultimately didn't win it.
Was that on Raw?
That was on a Raw. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that's what they should be doing to Cena.
That's what they should be doing to Cena. Just don't give him the title.
They will do.
They will, but they shouldn't.
They shouldn't.
I feel like they will give him that moment as a little like that. Here's your fucking watch, John. Thanks so much for everything you've done for the company.
If he'd want it though, like if he's,
I think he'd want it.
But if he wins it, he has to then lose it.
No, lads,
he doesn't. Sting didn't lose it.
If he won at WrestleMania, or even if he won at SummerSlam, I would just have a month of John Cena every night on fucking Raw on Netflix going open title
challenge,
and he does that for 4 or 5 weeks until somebody trucks him.
Yeah,
Kevin Owens,
and then he's into his final program. Potentially Owens.
It actually would be perfect if it was Kevin Owens.
That's all post WrestleMania season, but I do think WrestleMania season, I think it's Cena Gunter. I think they can do Cena Logan Paul at some point. Logan Paul beating Cena on Cena's route to his next world title win would be very cool, I think. There's a lot of fun stuff you could do.
Yeah.
Hey, did we get John Cena and Randy Orton against Jake Paul and Logan Paul?
Oh, God, no. Jesus. KSI and Logan Paul.
We're not agreeing, though, that Cena wins the Rumble. I can't agree to that.
We don't have to agree. Okay, outside of Cena, who do you think are the Royal Rumble perspective?
I think Punk.
Punk, you've suggested that. I can't see it in the world title.
I can't see it. No, I don't. Because I
do feel like
Orton
could be. I feel like Orton could be a shout. The Rock potentially could be a shout. I feel the Rumble this year is going to be won by a very established guy who's already won it.
Number 30, The Rock comes out. That's my another prediction from Dunphy.
The Rock wins. It takes on Cody. It works with my my booking.
No, I think CM Punk is going to win it. He's going to get the favour called in from Heyman, and Heyman's going to leave him off to whoever.
I like the idea. I just don't think the heel face thing is too much.
I think if he went up against Gunter, if Punk went up against Gunter for that title, and no matter how much favours CM Punk has called in, Punk is still going to have fans cheering.
Can I give you my final 4 in the
Rumble?
The Rumble. I think the final 4 are Cena, Punk, Roman, and Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens is is he already announced for the main event?
Why those four?
Was he?
I think Owens won the title before.
Maybe Sami Zayn.
The main event for the Royal Rumble, I think, is it's a ladder match between Cody and Kevin Owens for both world title belts.
Yeah, so maybe Sami Zayn then.
I think Owens is winning the title.
I think Owens is winning the title. I think Cody's trajectory, if The Rock isn't around, and even if The Rock is around, because I do think Rock and Roman is more of a money match, and considering the momentum that Owens has at the moment,
crazy momentum.
I think we could be looking at Orton, Owens, Cody triple threat. I think it's potential Cody could get taken out of the title picture entirely.
I think he should
before
do that.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to
the
be in the
world
title
title
picture.
program at WrestleMania becomes Orton Owens, which based on the juice of the storyline, again, could be fantastic storytelling.
What do you have any thoughts on Saturday night main event with Triple H and Kevin Owens, and if they're going to run that back at some stage?
I think Owens is in this. He's in this kind of Mick Foley late 98, early 99 position where which Daniel Bryan has been in before. A few guys have kind of been in before, where they're building up so much juice and momentum that they're the most captivating thing on television. And you got to, like, if that grows and grows and
Best
grows,
professional wrestler in the world right now.
Owens,
Yeah.
Owens is fantastic. And it's like, how? All right, the man's had 2 WrestleMania main events under his belt, but he's certainly never had the WWE.
He's
title.
never been the marquee man.
He had the Universal title in a very patchily, to say the least, booked reign. It would be great, like, based on the momentum he has now. I think you could nearly run when Randy comes back. There's actually so much potential between those 3 to do a decent triple threat with a year-long built storyline
They
between
did
them.
Kevin, Randy, and Logan Paul last year, so
Yeah.
another triple threat with Kevin and
I don't
Randy.
know. It could just be Kevin and Randy.
I think you're just doing Kevin and Randy
with the title or without. Probably
without.
Probably
I think.
without.
Yeah, I just think
What
like
about Goldberg?
I still feel like they're doing Gunter Goldberg at the Royal Rumble.
Big
Are they?
Rumble, is it? It's not going to go all the way to Mania.
I think he's coming out and spearing Gunter out of his shoes on January 6th.
I was mapping out like a potential fucking WrestleMania. Like, where if Goldberg does, I can't see Goldberg Gunter happening at WrestleMania. I could be wrong, but who else would you? If
Cena Goldberg.
If WrestleMania was Goldberg's last match, and again, like
He said it's not. He said that he might have 2 or 3 matches
then okay,
this year.
Oh fuck!
lads, I'll tell you something, just as a marquee match for WrestleMania outside the title picture, and I think it could happen, and I would watch the fuck out of it. If they decided to run Goldberg Logan Paul, that would be gas.
Actually, that'd be gas crack.
Yeah.
That would be gas.
Goldberg
crack,
wouldn't know what to do.
5 minutes, rehearse the fuck.
Or just
Let
be
them
in,
blister it.
Be in the performance center 24/7 for 3 weeks.
I think the boys could pull off.
But
A 5-minute fucking car crash of a match would be hilarious. It'd be great fun.
Rumble winner then. I'm going with Punk. You're going with Cena?
I'm going to go with Cena, although I do feel like Orton.
also going with
I
Cena.
feel like Orton could do it.
I'm going that's the first pay-per-view on Netflix. I'm going The Rock.
I like that pick though as well. It's just I think The Rock isn't going to be there for Mania, so that's why I'm
think
picking
that's
Swerve.
I feel like he is.
What,
It could be a swerve. It
How,
could be a
how
swerve.
crap is it though that we're like Cena, Punk, Rock, and it's 2024?
It's crazy.
It's mad, but they've actually just.
But see, also right, this
Makes sense, though.
like we're entering a new era now where this is their first year of this whole Netflix thing, and this is like the biggest corporatization of. It's like the ultimate next step in WWE corporate culture.
Punk's been
Evolution.
a big poster boy for this as well.
He's
He showed on Christmas Day.
He showed-
His,
Christmas
his
Day.
eventual heel turn is going to be very tasty.
going to be unbelievable.
Do you think, like, since he returned to wrestling and he been one of the best heels, he hasn't been heel?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I know, it's mad.
He
And
was
you're
a,
like, just fucking.
he was
the
a
same-
little heelish at times in AEW, but no,
I
he's never had a full heel turn
I think
since
if
his comeback.
things had gone well in AEW and everything behind the scenes was
didn't know.
That's the long
company's a
term.
joke.
The long term
He
was a
choked
heel.
out that,
Long-term-
he choked out
long-term
that
was a
punk
heel
kid
run.
backstage.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
That
think
fan that got in backstage.
Yeah, that
And
guy-
he threatened Tony Khan's
the
life.
long-haired
and Tony was scared.
nerd.
I like your idea of Punk conniving his way into the Rumble, but like that is a great
It is
heel
a heel
turn.
move.
Yeah, but Punk
It's
is like has that about him. Like,
But it is good that like if you're going to go Punk heel at some stage next year,
Which you should.
That is perfect for it. That he just goes, fuck this. This is my last chance to be in
I'm
WrestleMania.
doing
main
anything
event.
it
I'm doing
takes.
anything it takes, and that's going to screw over the biggest fan favorite that's out there. And I'm going to fucking be the winner. I'm going to be the guy who throws out the guy that everyone wants to win.
yeah, but if he goes up against Gunther, then fans are still going to rally behind him.
Well,
Roman Punk Cena last 3 in the Rumble.
Do you think Punk and Cena are going to roll it back the ears?
Imagine
Punk Cody?
Imagine it plays out like this. You got Punk
Cody.
You got.
I'd love to see Punk Cody.
Imagine you.
I
got,
would like
Punk Cody-
of all
I
I
the
don't feel like
manuals
they need to do it this year, but they could do it. They had a great promo last year.
There's juice in that. I don't think you need to burn that in a 3-month build now.
3-month build is a long build.
I know, but like we're talking Punk Cody here. They're two master long-term storytellers.
You could continue it after Mania.
You could continue it after Mania.
Going back to Punk, and the favour. If the favour to Heyman is in fact Punk wants to get into the main event of WrestleMania, what way do you facilitate that? And is it the case that Punk and Roman in the Rumble? And Roman's clearing house for everyone, and they get down to the last two, and Roman has to take a fucking fall, and it's just it's a final two where you're going.
And let Roman go on to Rock.
Will Roman eliminate himself?
It's a favour with Heyman though. It's not a favour with Roman.
Yeah, I know.
And
Punk
it was for Roman, so I feel like Roman's going to have to eat some shit in this storyline, and he's not going to like it, and will maybe actually rebel against it.
And
Punk and Roman,
fans love that
Potentially.
Punk and Roman.
So because my top 3 matches, as I said, either with or without The Rock, is Cody Cena, no Rock, Cody Cena, night 1, Punk Roman, night 2, Gunter. Who do I have with Gunter in that universe?
Cena? Or
no, I have him with Cena if The Rock is in.
Goldberg.
Could be Goldberg.
Ludwig Kaiser.
It's interesting actually. All these iterations of what could occur, it makes me kind of want to watch a lot of wrestling again.
Yeah, it's fun.
There's actually, it's not cut and dried. There's a lot of potential, like in terms of the world title matches for WrestleMania, a lot of ways they could go.
Like we said, the variable of The Rock is absolutely massive. Like that affects the whole card.
What way are they actually going to go though? No matter how much
my predictions in terms of the 4 world titles, I'm going to say that it's I think we're going to get some permutation of Cody v Randy or Cody v Randy v KO.
Yeah.
I feel we're going to get Cena Gunter. Then on the women's side, we're going to get Liv Ripley Becky. I feel like Becky mightn't be there.
I think that's true.
I feel it could be Liv and Rhea in some form. Alexa could crowbar her way in. Might happen, you don't know. And
have Netflix anything to do with that new Star Trek thing Becky's doing?
No idea.
Don't think so.
I think there could be steam in Kevin Owens and Triple H.
Do you think Triple H is going to wrestle?
I think so. I think Triple H has thrown himself, as we know, into like done the Chris Jericho thing and thrown himself onto a lot of hot storylines.
Yeah, I feel like there is maybe a degree of Triple H. He's got the book now.
Yeah.
He's probably looked at Owens Austin and he's gone, Jesus, Kev worked so safely with that guy.
I could
probably do that.
Triple H's last match is a tag team match where he teamed with Nakamura against Bobby Roode and someone else who I kind of forget. Maybe actually Owens, Bobby Roode. Oh yeah, or maybe Ziggler in Japan. I don't know if Triple H has won the tank, but if he does, a short fucking exhibition match. If they're trying to recreate a little bit of which I feel they might be, of Austin McMahon with Owens Triple H, could be fucking gold.
Because like you have Owens, Adam Pearce or Nick Aldis or whatever.
Aldis is wrestling at some point.
I would love.
Aldis
Why hasn't he wrestled already? Like Nick Aldis can go still, surely.
And Wade Barrett, I'd like to see him wrestling too. There was talks of Wade Barrett and Drew.
That could still happen, but I feel like Drew's.
Oh yeah, where's Drew in all this?
Well,
Sammy now, so maybe
I genuinely think if The Rock isn't around, Drew does feel like the likely, for me, or at least a likely opponent for Roman. Because if Drew spends the next 3 months getting through all the Bloodline members, that's the payoff. Yeah. If that's the storyline that they want to expand. Now, maybe that storyline ends in the Elimination Chamber. But I feel ultimately,
Drew, that could go on to SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Drew, it could do. Drew is coming for Roman.
Yeah,
I think they get there. I don't know.
I think that's further down the line, and like Drew's likely WrestleMania is like Jey Uso. Yeah, I think.
Now, in fairness,
I think that's the most likely WrestleMania match for him.
Based on the trajectory of what's been going on with Owens as well. I mean, it depends on how much steam Owens Cody keeps, and it's at the moment it's got a lot, and particularly with Orton still to come back, but. Sammy KO could still be on the cards for WrestleMania, and it would feel warranted this year. So that could be Kevin Owens' match. He's going to be in the big spot, I think.
I think Triple H for me is one of the most likely.
Triple H against Owens.
Yeah.
See, I think.
But then again, does he win
the Stone Cold thing is like Stone Cold is coming back with dodgy neck and dodgy knees. Dodgy heart is very, very different.
Very different.
I think I've seen Triple H saying that he's like proper.
Maybe he is, but
I would be
with the two of them, with the way they went at each other at Saturday night's main event. I was kind of like,
like what's the end game there? You know what I mean? Because if you run an angle for a match that can never happen,
it's not.
You're just teasing the fans.
Yeah.
But there's it also. I also believe that Cody's going to drop the title at some stage. So
I feel like that could be happening soon. I don't think it's guaranteed that Cody's in the title picture. I think Cody's going to be in a big marquee match.
See, the thing there again is I go back to the corporate aspect of it is WrestleMania first year on Netflix, Cody's in the title picture.
If I kind of think that it's like he's had this now 2 years in a row, so it's the ideal opportunity to actually take him out and still have a marquee match.
Storyline wise, yes.
Yeah.
I just don't
I think he
they
can
will.
afford a break from the
from the world title.
He
I
can
think so.
still be the top guy, but doesn't need to be in the world title scene.
Yeah.
Goes back to what Shane says though, of cheapening your prestige, your titles.
Not really. Oh yeah,
Like they put Gunter and Sammy on a Raw before they put it on a pay-per-view. I don't think
that's not WrestleMania though.
Yeah, but I don't think that cheapened it. I think if Kevin, I think maybe even Kevin Owens wins it and loses it again, and that's further sends him down the edge. Further send him off a fucking.
I'd love to see that happen. I think definitely a bit of a circuit breaker reign could be. He could
like,
have a little bit of a hot potato with him and
Randy,
Cody and Randy.
Kevin wins it at the Rumble. Fucking. He loses it to Randy at Elimination Chamber. Cody wins the actual Elimination Chamber
and fights Randy.
And then Kevin
Owens takes
Owens
it all out in Sami Zayn.
Yeah, the Sami Zayn just gets bet the fuck around.
It can
That's
work.
a very logical consideration.
I just think with the players they have in the picture, I don't think we see Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Sammy, anyone. I don't see them in the main event picture.
And there's not enough
this wrestling,
and there's not enough spots. Like we're not going to see any of the lower bloodline guys in singles matches.
I think you might see Jacob in Solo. If The Rock does come back and he gets the Ulafala, Jacob is going with The Rock.
I think if there's a Rock Roman match, I think there's definitely going to be. There'll probably be
lumber.
Everybody will be there
bloodline.
in some way. It might actually just be a giant mixed tag to facilitate. I don't know, but they also separately, like the star power is there to do a bloodline, some kind like
6-man,
WrestleMania 13 Chicago Street Fight rules, whatever the version of that is, but a 6-man
Bloodline rules,
like Jimmy J and Sammy against
Solo, Jacob and Tamatonga
most likely.
That's a step down though.
I don't think they'll do it, Jimmy. I don't think Jimmy or Jay will be in a singles match. Not Mania.
You don't think Jimmy or Jay?
Yeah.
No, I think they'll be tagging together.
That's a very likely outcome as well.
I think because of the stinker they had, they'll never have a singles match at WrestleMania ever again.
Right.
No, Jay Uso is definitely going to have a singles match at
I think
WrestleMania.
Jay will be with Drew at Mania.
Do you think Jay and Drew?
I think so. Yeah.
It makes
Could
sense.
happen, yeah.
I think it's not. I think it's not good enough for Drew. Drew needs something better than that.
But I don't.
But that's the trajectory of Drew. He's already on Sammy now, so he'll get Jimmy before he'll get Jay. Jay's the next one. Then he could either go after Solo before
Would you
Roman.
not do Solo Drew at Mania rather than Drew Jay?
There's also
Yeah.
potential to do that.
Yeah.
If all the bloodline business is tied up, or else it's completely diverted to Rock Roman, it could free Solo up.
I would just like to see Solo and Jacob. If
Yeah.
The thing I did consider coming into it, like thinking in terms of the WrestleMania plans, I always felt that like Roman Solo for the Ulafala was a potential WrestleMania match and an end point for the storyline. The fact that they're doing it on January 6th suggests that the story's going to take off in another trajectory.
Yeah, that the real
And they have a
boss
plan
is
for
yet to
WrestleMania,
reveal
and I feel
himself.
it is The Rock. That's why I feel like The Rock is going to be more.
Don't think it's Rikishi, you know?
I'd love to see Rikishi coming back in the WrestleMania season.
Paul Heyman,
I did it for The Rock.
Paul Heyman Survivor Series 2002 turn for no reason.
I feel
where he's like, Brock Lesnar, no, I'm turning him, and now it's the Big Show.
I hate that turn.
That was so stupid.
As much as
Hardcore
any
Holly
turn
do
in
that.
the history of wrestling.
I do feel like there's a maybe a Paul turn in the books.
Paul play a part.
Paul could align with Rock's bloodline, that would be fucking big business.
Would any sign of Lesnar here?
No.
If you're talking about Tessa Blanchard.
Not in the
Lesnar's different.
He's still in that.
Lesnar is just an outright reminder of everything they're trying to pretend never happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Damien Priest.
Finn.
It's got to be payoff with Finn. We're getting into mid-card matches now, but yeah,
It's a long way to go to get
Isn't
to
it
that
mad
match.
that you're talking about Priest as a mid-card guy? Like he
not
was
mid-card, but like I mean, in terms of like being on the mid-card of WrestleMania.
Like I think what happens
all gonna be big
here
matches.
is like with a lot of the superstar part-timers coming in, and it's the same every year in WWE, is guys who've held the upper card together
storyline wise.
what part-timers are coming in though? The Rock.
Well, like the
Goldberg,
Rock, Cena, Goldberg, you know what I mean?
Goldberg,
Like,
I don't know if it's
that
Goldberg
pushes the
WrestleMania,
likes
but
of
it
Priest
might.
down the card for Mania,
And it used
he'd
to
be
do
back up the card.
You used to do it for Drew, but I suppose that's what happens to you. You kind of
remember-
that happens to you a few times. Then the fans,
Drew went against Madcap Moss.
Yeah,
on WrestleMania.
That was a WrestleMania match, wasn't it?
yeah.
Oh, lads, poor Drew. Fuck it.
Drew and
don't-
Priest.
I think Finn and
Drew and Priest would
Drew
be
and Priest is a
brilliant.
goer.
It would be
I
brilliant.
think Finn and I think 3 months is too long for Finn and
Okay,
Priest.
so-
I feel like you're right.
I feel like
you're
they're
right.
potentially-
But
I
I think
feel-
they'll do it anyway.
I feel like they'll want to do Judgment Day Wyatts at some point. I feel that could maybe happen at WrestleMania. There's also suggestions of a Judgment Day split. The whole group could be gone by WrestleMania.
Yeah, it looks like Finn is pissed off at.
yeah.
There's something going on with Dominic as well. Dominic's
Also,
Finn
one
and-
of
Finn and
Triple
JD.
H's biggest problems as a booker is the ability to finish anything. Like, he does tend to...
Yeah, but not,
how so? Letting like Alpha Academy and Gable and stuff like that.
Yeah, like he doesn't
not an immediate payoff, but letting
like things tend to... So, if anyone is going to try and drag out Priest and Finn, it's Triple H, like, you know?
He just let it die down, just forget about it.
Probably.
Yeah.
No,
But
I don't
you know
think
what I
you'd
mean?
Forget about it. I think they're paying off fans' attention spans.
Yeah,
lately.
I just think though he has a tendency to not give a definitive ending to major storylines.
But that's it. Yeah, but like that's the
Finn-
way it's.
I disagree. I think he does sometimes, but I think mostly they've been pretty clean. Or at least they've been parked in an
Like,
interesting
he-
position
Co-
where you can pick them
See,
up.
that's what
later
I mean.
on.
He parks them. He doesn't end
Yeah.
them. Yeah,
But
yeah.
but that's the nature of what
Wrestling is.
wrestling is. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a
Or should
never-ending
be.
story.
Yeah.
You can't end the story.
Well, look,
Like
story.
if Cody Rhodes finished his story at WrestleMania,
Story.
and then they just forgot about all his interconnected history from the previous 2 years.
I don't think like there's different ways of doing that. It's like parking it and definitively finishing it are different, but it feels to me that Triple H like parks almost everything. You
Like-
don't have to forget about the history of a storyline once it's finished.
Would you do? You'd probably end up with a multi-man tag team match, so you could see
Yeah, yeah.
JD and Finn in that.
Oh
Like
yeah,
Punk
Yeah,
and
could absolutely see
Drew
that.
is finished for now.
But
like
that felt like a definitive
A
ending.
definitive ending, yeah. But like they still referenced it as well.
Yeah, yeah. You can end something and not forget the history of it, and still come back to it under a
I
different guise.
feel like
in a year or
Balor
two.
and Priest will be in prominent spots, and I feel like there is.
do you think they'll do it?
We're running out of spots here, though.
Chamber.
I don't think they'll do it a Rumble.
Well, like we still haven't definitively. I think for the women's title, we kind of said some form of Becky, Liv, maybe Rhea, Tiffany, Charlotte. For the World Championship, we said Gunter versus Cena. I predicted possibly Punk. Then for the WWE Championship, we've said some form of Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes.
I don't see that at all.
Where are the Wyatts coming into this?
So we're going to get to that. So
I don't think we see them.
the other
No,
matches.
I think you can use a big star that didn't get into the main event against the Wyatts. Like that's their distraction. The Wyatts started fucking getting into their shit.
I do feel like the
Wyatts in the bloodline.
I do feel like they're. I don't
like that.
I don't
Which
think.
actually, yeah.
yeah.
I don't think the Judgment Day has an awful lot of gas in the tank. So I do.
I feel like Finn is on a new energy now.
I feel like you're going to want to do some form of Wyatts and Judgment Day before Judgment Day are finished. So maybe letting Wyatts finish off Judgment Day at WrestleMania is the way to go in a multi-man
Like
match.
who's the biggest fecker that stabbed their
fecker.
family in the back?
Well, Finn Balor
Finn
stabbed
Balor,
Damian
like-
But
Priest
no,
in the
with
back.
Dominic Mysterio and his dad.
Dominic
Oh,
Mysterio.
shit, yeah.
There's a load of juice there. What might go against it? I don't think the Wyatts and the Final Testament storyline, which I will say has been fucking brilliant. It really has been excellent. I think Karrion Kross is
Yeah.
gonna.
Oh, he's doing tremendous.
he's got a
work.
lot of
He's
juice.
I think
doing the
it'll
best
go
work he's done in
but-
WWE,
but
and
it'll
it's
go
starting
nowhere.
to click from. I don't
I
know
think
about
I think that's the type of thing that goes
that
nowhere
being said,
from
with
Triple
Karrion
H.
Kross, I actually can't see. I can't necessarily see a place where he's going to be on the WrestleMania
Yeah.
card.
I don't think he's on it. No.
At least he was on it last year in that extreme fight.
But he lost to fucking Bobby Lashley, AEW's Bobby Lashley.
Street Profits.
But I do think they've been doing great work. I feel like the Wyatt's Final Testament stuff is probably going to wrap up. I feel like this is moving to a tag team scenario, but I feel like a money match for WrestleMania is a big fucking meaty men match between the War Raiders, who I feel could keep the tag titles till then,
I don't see why not.
and maybe AOP.
That would be nice.
Yeah, I think the tag team titles that you mentioned, AOP and Viking Raiders. I think they're
Not the Viking experience.
Viking Experience, War Raiders,
War Raiders.
The war experience.
I don't know.
the
It's
Scandinavian boys,
The Civil War
I
experience.
feel like we've probably maybe done this a little
Swedish
bit.
House Mafia.
I get stabbed. We've maybe done it prematurely because there's still this big fucking, a bit of a mini draft. There's a bit of a
Yeah.
free agency season coming up, so people could shift. New Day are going to be involved in,
They're
possibly
hot.
in the tag scene. They're getting hot.
I don't think they're going to be in the tag scene.
Triple threat, New Day.
I feel like they could move to SmackDown. I don't know. Like I feel like their trajectory. What's a dream match there? Like them in the Motor City Machine Guns would be excellent.
I think New Day against Big E and bring back Odyssey Jones. And there you have
That's not going to happen.
There you have
Call
the
up
four,
Obafemi.
There you have the 4 New Days.
Obafemi and Big E.
4 New Days. Yeah. That's all I got.
New Day are hot at the moment. Who is the team you'd love to see them against?
Motor City Machine
I think
Guns.
it's Motor City Machine Guns.
I'd love to see that match.
It doesn't necessarily need the tag titles. It's a tag team dream match.
Yeah.
Would you do Motor City Machine Guns versus Usos or something like that?
No.
It seems below Usos at
I
this
think
stage.
the Usos should just stay in the Bloodline stuff because they'll want a big Bloodline presence.
Do you think the tag team
WrestleMania.
titles have been given more credence in the past year?
No,
Haven't been on a single pay-per-view.
Finn and JD
But
did
that
nothing.
being said, they have been on pay-per-views. Everybody who's got the titles are heavily featured every week and plugged into storylines. It's not ideal, particularly with the Balor JD reign where they fucking did fuck all. Came to Dublin though and they gave us a good time.
I think
a great time.
I think the way they introduce, like the way they split up those titles, and we're like, right, we're getting a reset, we're getting new titles, and the people that they put them on was
The initial
tag
Theory,
teams
Waller,
with
Goller, Fowler.
Miz and R-Truth and A-Town Down Under.
I liked it. I thought it worked really well.
They put on 2 comedy tag teams.
That was the issue. You needed one worker tag team at least. You
Yeah.
could do one comedy tag
And
team.
eventually made its way to a worker
It did,
tag
yeah,
team.
yeah.
You've got 2 veterans on Raw who are a kind of well-regarded team from like the early 2010s.
There's your problem.
I know, but
Awesome
they never won the
Truth.
tag title. R-Truth accidentally looked onto one of the hottest runs of his career. Again, the genius of Triple H booking, but like it was really good stuff, and it was nice to see like a comedy version of the R-Truth character that wasn't like Vincified. It was a little bit more knowing, and Ron Killings got to have a little bit more reign.
whale of a
Ron
time.
Killings
All
did.
that money in all that stuff with the blood, or not the bloodline, Judgment Day and selling merch and all, that was just tremendous.
It was tremendous. So it was a payoff to that. I think you have it on worker tag teams now. You got fucking DIY over in SmackDown. You got the
but
War
see,
Raiders.
my issue wasn't
More Satan
actually
Machine Guns.
R-Truth and Miz. It was more A-Town Down Under getting a title run.
So what you do with the titles?
I think this year I like John's idea of New Day versus Motor City Machine Guns, and the other side, I don't really know the War Raider experience of
if
Scandinavia.
they still have the title,
Should do
I love the pop that they got when they won the title.
yeah, and I think it was a reward given to him for the work that I know. Fucking Ray Rowe was out for a long time with injury, but like I think this run is kind of a reward more so for Ivar. What's his name? Hansen.
Todd
I think
Hansen,
tag
yeah.
titles. I
Like-
think tag titles 100% will be multi-man. Like if you think about all the
probably-
all
yeah.
the singles matches we were booking here, they're going to throw a load of lads on the card here.
Well,
and the tag titles
also
is the place
the
to do
US title is going to be a multi-man ladder match.
Do you think
I think.
Intercontinental will be singles.
Does Nakamura still hold it at WrestleMania?
I don't know, but does it matter?
I don't know.
Like you're going to have like Nakamura, LA Knight,
Maybe Andrade,
Andrade,
and Carmelo Hayes.
Carmelo, and a couple of
that is a
others in
four-way-
a six-way ladder match.
Wouldn't be the worst thing. Although I do feel like LA Knight needs a better spotlight if you want to keep him hot.
Do you know, Sammy's going to be in like some sort of bloodline.
I think Sammy's in a bloodline match, or else he's up against Kevin Owens in a blood feud.
Okay. So yeah, I think the big multi-man, they'll have a multi-man both nights.
I think
so. One night could be one of the tag titles.
100% will be a
They've
tag
done
title.
that. They've done that.
And they could do a
before.
women's tag titles multi-person as
Yeah,
well.
and
People want to
the
get
other night
paid,
will be
boys. They want to be on the
US
card. You got to throw them into multi-man.
The other night will be the US multi-man, probably ladder match
just-
scenario.
Because the Intercontinental is singles, right? It's
I think
Sheamus Braun.
Sheamus Braun, something to that effect.
Like we're effectively they're going to do probably at least 8 matches on each night. I know it's Triple H now, so we'd be lucky if we got 2 matches each night. But, no, it's usually in about 8.
I was going to ask you.
It could be 9 matches a
Do they
night.
follow the same format as they do for pay
They
per
don't because they haven't
no,
for
no.
WrestleMania. WrestleMania, now that it's 2 nights, they don't need to do fucking 7-hour shows anymore. So they book pretty tight 4-hour shows each
Yeah,
night.
but what I'm saying is like
that don't overstay their welcome.
It was only this year that you really started to notice the 5 match pay per views. So are they going to do the same thing?
WrestleMania seems exempt from that.
Yeah, I would
I
agree.
think WrestleMania is exempt.
But we don't know for certain.
If you look at WrestleMania 40, it was like they got a load of people on the card, and for the most part, most of those matches had been set up by long running storylines and had storylines running into them. Yeah, fantastic.
These will be quick matches as well. There won't be fucking.
Will be a couple of clusterfuck. The tag
main
matches, I
event,
don't
40
know
minutes.
what kind of spotlight they have. Do they get a loan of the Hardys from TNA? Do the Hardys come in for a bit of a
Do the
fucking
Street
run?
Profits actually get booked?
Do the Street Profits actually get booked?
if they're doing a multi-man tag match for the Raw titles, I think they probably do.
Yeah, I do feel storyline wise the hottest tag team going into the season is going to be New Day. So I'm wondering how they fit into that. If in fact
New Day versus Street Profits would be awesome.
Potentially could be. I like the idea of New Day, Motor City Machine Guns. If you want to put,
I do like that too.
If you wanted to put a dream tag team match on the card, kind of in the same way you did with the Dudleys and the Usos a couple of years ago, that's a match.
Like the New Day got kicked out of the Raw dressing room. So
well, I think that was pretty clear they're going to SmackDown.
Yeah, it makes sense that they'd go to SmackDown and still have the same experiences. But DIY are the champions now.
That'd be a good match.
Yeah, well, I think
DIY are the tag team champions.
SmackDown's going to 3 hours now as well, so that's going to. It's. I think all of the divisions in SmackDown are going to be getting a lot more focus.
A bit of a bolstering.
Yeah.
Numerically,
that's the crack with the tag titles. US title, we think
some multi-man ladder match scenario.
Well, we're just saying that's the crack. Like New Day, Motor City Machine Guns,
and maybe DIY.
And DIY, you think maybe a 3-way there is,
and maybe even stick the Street Profits in there as well.
Maybe DIY are heels now.
Yeah.
So by bringing hotter heels over in New Day, then DIY, does that take away from DIY?
No, because I think New Day win the match.
Yeah, I think you can do multiple combinations of all these. Like 3 months, lads. Like you can do combinations of all this stuff.
Big E would come out and turn on.
We don't know that he's not cleared, and this isn't the start of that storyline.
But what I'm saying is, Big E as a heel. So the New Day never broke up. Big E comes out and proves himself
to the boys,
and the boys take him back.
Could be a great bit of business.
It could be, but also
you're throwing all that good.
Very hard to bring back Big E as a heel after everything he's gone through.
I think it would be a waste.
All that goodwill.
Yeah. Like, but if he could be a super hot baby face.
If he did it for his friends, I did it for The Rock.
Nah,
I did it for the Kofi.
I just think you have, if Big E is healthy, hopefully, and ready to go, you could have a mega babyface run with
Big E, Braun Breaker.
Particularly, what I'd love to see in that then is for like
push him to the moon,
Kofi and Xavier again playing off their current gimmick, protesting. They need someone to protect him and mind him, and they need a heater. And like,
and it's not Big E.
Obafemi, Omos. Fucking, I don't know.
Omos is over in Japan at the moment.
Yeah, he's just
doing great things. I don't
know if Mark Henry's fucking kid is up to scratch yet, but like,
he can bench.
Big E going up against a heel version of the New Day with a heater would be great.
Obafemi, he's the man.
He's awesome.
He's the man.
Who's who's US champion?
Nakamura at the moment, he might hold it till that season. I think there's potential mileage in a Nakamura Chad Gable US title match or WrestleMania, depending on the storyline. But right now, it really feels like they're going to stick with the. Maybe it's Nakamura, LA Knight, or it's Andrade and Carmelo.
I think by LA Knight losing that US title, I think it should have pushed them higher up the card.
That's what I feel.
But I just don't think the spots are there.
The spots aren't there. Going into WrestleMania season, part-timers coming in now.
LA Knight, the host of WrestleMania, LA Knight.
Hey,
I could see it.
If you're not even Cena and Gunter, fucking LA Knight Gunter could be a wild card
LA
good
Knight
match.
to win the Rumble.
No. I don't see it.
But wouldn't that be great though? Like having a first-time Rumble winner.
It'd be lovely. It's not happening.
No.
Like when was the last time?
I don't feel like it's not happening. I feel like there's potential. Nakamura was the last one where you're like, fuck yes.
Yeah.
Unexpected.
Fuck, they did it. They fucking did it. Yeah.
Does AJ factor into any of your plans?
No.
Have they done AJ?
Isn't he injured still?
AJ was a bit loose. I feel like he's going to come back in. I'm not sure he'll plug it, but I was drafting up a little card myself, and I had Logan Paul going spare, and then I was like, who does he fight?
AJ.
Perfect.
And then have they done Logan Paul AJ? They haven't.
No, that's actually a great idea.
And I feel like that could be the match.
That'd be ideal.
AJ could do all sorts of cool stuff for Logan Paul.
Yeah. And he'd teach him.
Finn?
No. I think Finn's in some Judgment Day mix, and I think Finn and Damien.
Speaking of Judgment Day, are we getting? Could we get Dominic Ray?
So here's the next.
I do not want to
here's the next non-title match. Before we get to the IC title match, which we need to cover, one match I did add on to my tentative card that I feel they probably should do. It's 2 fucking guys where I'm going, where's the spots for them? Rey Mysterio versus Penta.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Versus Dominic.
I saw somebody suggest online the other week, and I thought this was fucking great. So this is a booking idea that I am not responsible for, but I'm regurgitating some shit I read online. But the idea that like they bring Penta in as a fucking Lucha Undertaker type character and really just have him bone.
That's why he was Lucha Underground.
It's not Penta. All. Yeah, exactly. Paying more into that character that he's played before.
Dark Penta.
So that
But not that Penta from
we've
AW.
got quite a populated
grave.
Oh, and bring your man with him. What's his name?
Alex Abrahantes.
No,
Jesus Christ.
Just get him off me telly. But
hot take as an aside, I do feel Abrahantes was the fucking death knell of Penta as a credible singles 100%. Competitor in AEW. In WWE, however, not him. They've got a load of fucking luchadors. Everybody's kind of they're either
the lucha murderer,
sneaky conniving heels, or like the valiant Dragon Lee, Rey Mysterio type baby faces. Having some fucking dark, deranged, scary motherfucker.
Straight up
as
killer.
I said,
you could throw Andrade in there as well.
I would just love to see Penta Ray.
Just throwing all the Latinos in.
Yeah, exactly. Throw them all in there.
That's Triple H booking right there.
I'd love Penta to come in.
Like I say, that's a joke.
Get rid of the LWO. Just
kill
absolutely
kill them all.
Just
Penta does.
Yeah, but like the luchadors then kind of, or lucha or what, like they come back with a different side to them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They get involved in
just
they're not
our heritage.
Have Penta be like a catalyst for
like the Fiend was meant to be, or whatever.
Like
one of the biggest,
one
of the big conversations that's been ongoing now for like at least 15 years, particularly as pertaining to WWE and the Mexico market, which keep in mind,
who's the next Rey Mysterio?
Backlash Mexico. The big question for years has been who's the next Rey Mysterio.
Well,
it wasn't fucking Sin Cara.
It wasn't Alberto Del Rio.
It wasn't Alberto Del Rio.
It was for a while.
It wasn't Dominic Mysterio. I think Dominic is going to be a completely different thing, and he's going to be fine. And he's leaned way more into Eddie Guerrero than he has. They've tried Dragon Lee a little bit.
It's Rey Phoenix.
Working.
He's just not there yet.
It's Rey Phoenix. He's just not there yet. And I think Penta is also part of that as well.
Yeah, but what age is Rey Phoenix?
Rey Phoenix is only about 34, 35.
Yeah, 34, 35. It's like the next Rey Mysterio.
He is the next Rey Mysterio.
Mysterio's still only 28 though.
But Rey Phoenix is his own guy. He's not the next anything.
I know that. But
the point I'm making,
they're
Ciaran,
prime
is that
beef in the market.
It's not that you are literally Rey Mysterio. It's that you are the biggest Mexican wrestler, masked wrestler, who sells the most merchandise and appeals to that fan base. That's been Rey for 20 years. No one's taken his spot. Now that they're in WWE, I think Penta and Rey Phoenix have a shot at doing that and succeeding where others have failed.
There's nobody on the WWE roster who's more exhilarating than Rey Phoenix.
He's not even on the roster
yet.
Stick Rey Phoenix into pair leather pants, put Rey Mysterio's mask on him, and call him Rey Mysterio.
I cannot
Junior.
I cannot fucking stress enough how much we're talking about him literally not being Rey Mysterio. We're talking about the spot.
Could you break it down a little bit to me more?
So, Rey Mysterio.
I like the go on to the Dom part. I think Dom and the Wyatts would like the Judgment Day and the Wyatts.
You got the biggest. Excuse me, Jesus. I'm dying.
You've got a Jerry Lawler heart attack.
I shouldn't wrestle tonight.
It's not part of the show.
You've got the biggest coward who's part of a massive heel faction. The biggest cowardly character you got, Dominic Mysterio.
Stabbed his dad in the back.
Let the Wyatts run roughshod on that for a couple of months.
Eddie's dead.
So in the Wyatts you have Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy, Eric Rowan, Howdy, and Nikki Cross. Then you have
Raquel Rodriguez,
Finn, JD, Carlito, and Dom with Rhea off, or with Morgan off doing stuff with
Rhea. I think that could be your direction.
Okay.
You want the Wyatts to have a big moment at WrestleMania. We've talked about this already. Actually, we're just regurgitating it. But yeah, I think that's the way to go.
Okay. So I think that's the only definitive match that we've booked off. Then is it?
What, the Wyatts and the Judgment Day?
Let's booked. We've a one-card mania, 2 nights.
Tag team wise, I'm willing to concede Motor City Machine Guns versus New Day.
Agreed.
Possibly versus DIY.
But Motor City,
we have to concede.
Lads, look, every tag match could have like fucking 4 teams in it.
Yeah.
And based on the last couple of years,
and the Hardys could come as well because of the TNA stuff.
Hardys, Creeds could be in the mix. There's a lot of teams that could be in the mix.
The Viking Raiders versus the Creeds would be
juicy enough.
I think the IC match we're all
Let's go on to the
agree.
IC title. I think this is the one that we can all agree on.
Ludwig Kaiser.
I don't know if Ludwig's in the mix. I think we're just going to get straight up Sheamus.
Yeah.
And
Sheamus is going to win it, and it's going to be his moment.
That is exactly what I want. The only thing is having Braun lose at Mania is
absolutely nothing to Braun.
They can just book a match where he looks like a beast.
With Braun, then
he's already lost to Jay, and that actually helped him.
He's lost to Sammy. They're doing a very effective.
Also, I think Braun moves up the card after Mania.
Yeah, I think Braun's on a trajectory.
You need to get the title off him as well. So,
and I do think they're booking him smartly because he is taking a lot lot of losses, and they're
not one of them has felt like it dented an inch of his aura.
And it's also been framed as he's so new and he's so young, and he's only been wrestling about fucking 3 or 4 years.
And he makes the odd mistake.
He makes a mistake. Like, this will be a different story in fucking 5 years' time when he is the finished article.
Yeah. He's murdering everyone.
I feel like that would be the sleeper match tonight, Braun Sheamus.
I totally agree with you.
Class,
If they can build it really well between now and Mania.
It's already built. It's actually built. Don't fuck it up for.
Kaiser could be in the mix, but they've just done that Survivor Series.
You don't need to. You just do the singles.
Kaiser won't be on it.
Do you do like a qualifier for it where Sheamus has to run a gauntlet beforehand?
Possibly, why not? Fucking give me more Sheamus on telly. Give me loads of Sheamus.
But then you give, like, say, Karrion Kross something to do on the lead up to WrestleMania if we don't have anything for him. Or you give all, like, Dragon Lee, all these other people.
They are going to be working their asses off to get on that card, and none of them will be on it in the end.
I think that's the IC title match locked down.
Wait, can we go back to Chad Gable and Nakamura? Why do you think that?
Very simply, he's just
Chad is the hero.
I feel like Chad just signed a new contract. They might want to spotlight him. I can't see it fit with him as a heel.
Storyline going for the Intercontinental title.
Sorry, when did we book Chad Gable
last year?
Nakamura?
Sorry, I just said as an aside, I can't see a spot for Chad on the Chad on the card, but I do feel like he's on SmackDown now. A US title reign is probably in his future.
Is he definitely on SmackDown now?
Yeah,
but then he's probably in the multi-man ladder match.
Exactly, and he'll win it Zack Ryder style.
The whole Japanese thing with Nakamura coming out, like, being very, pro his heritage. Chad Gable being Mr. USA with American made.
I think there could be something in that. I don't know. Could be a possible US title direction.
I feel like on a card where we've got Cena and Cody, it's hard for Chad Gable to be Mr. America.
This is the thing, but again, like, these are guys that have signed new contracts. They probably want to justify. They want to give them decent spots, but potentially that's where it's at.
I think I would love it, but I think no chance because of the fact that we've so many singles. There's so many other singles matches on the card.
Fair enough.
That's the multi-man.
Let's get to the final.
Like, we're bookers here. We're not a charity, John.
Let's get to the final title. The last title we haven't accounted for. We said women's tag is potentially some kind of could be a mixed ladder match. That's where a lot of women get on the card.
We think Jade and Bianca, and they're going to lose that title before.
Women's US title is Chelsea Green keeping it to WrestleMania.
Yeah, forever.
I think she is, and I think Bayley is the probable opponent for her.
That would be cool.
Also agree.
Or maybe Piper Niven. But I feel
if that's a WrestleMania,
they want to give Bayley on the card. They want to get Bayley on the card.
If that's a WrestleMania match, though,
it's the first ever women's US title match at WrestleMania. Chelsea is fucking great.
Then
business.
they also going to have the first women's Intercontinental title match.
We don't know who's going to win that and where that might be on the card.
Yeah,
I hope Lyra wins. It's a lot of belts to get on the card.
Yeah. A title unification match already.
I'd love them to do that with the tag titles.
WrestleMania is where? In Vegas.
This year.
Is it?
I think so, yeah. I
don't know.
Or
Milwaukee.
What?
Sophie Stadium, Vegas. The new stadium there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. There's no real Vegas-y performance.
John Moxley lives in Vegas.
He used to live in Vegas. I don't think he lives anymore. I think he's back to Cincinnati or Cleveland.
Cincinnati or Cleveland.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
One of them places.
Just talking about where a lad moved house to.
One of them steel towns.
No, it's Cleveland.
It's Cleveland, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I feel like that. Yeah, I feel like Chelsea, Bayley might be the way to go. Women's Intercontinental, don't have a clue. Could be
not a clue. Yeah.
That's a lot of titles to book on 2 nights of a giant wrestling card, but you can do it.
Too many titles.
Who have we missed out on? Who are the strays that aren't accounted for?
Well, like we've all mentioned them. I think we've mentioned Miz. Like, what's Miz do?
Miz is in maybe some Final Testament business. I can't see any other faction they could go up against.
I feel like Orton is slightly left out because he's. I think we've booked him in like a perhaps maybe if Orton is.
I think
him and Cody. He's involved with Cody.
I think it's Orton KO.
I think Orton KO maybe is the way they're going at the moment.
Does Orton come back as a heel?
That man needs to be a heel. Like
he got pile drove by Kevin Owens, but at the same time, he could be sitting at home going, you know what, Kevin Owens was fucking right.
Oh, here's a potential storyline that
Cody.
That I have thought about. That I think they could do, and I've thought about it a bit. But
Sting Vigilante style.
I feel like the swerve could be Orton comes back and saves Cody from an Owens attack and
hits Cody.
You think, okay, this is Orton's retribution, and Orton then just fucking punt kicks Cody in the head, and we realise that Orton in his time away has been swayed by everything Owens has been doing, and then you've got them as a potential modern version of the 2-man power trip for a while. That'd be fucking money.
Where's Rollins?
Oh yeah. Where are we putting
I
Rollins?
still do think they're going to do Punk, AJ, Rollins, Becky. I feel like that's a big WrestleMania.
They mentioned AJ.
Snazzy first time kind of meeting between Becky and AJ.
They mentioned AJ on the Netflix kind of thing.
They've been
were
dropping
talking-
her a bit,
yeah.
and I just feel there's something in that.
Husband to AJ
I had
Lee.
Rollins built in to my The Rock doesn't show up. If The Rock doesn't show up, I think I had Rollins versus Gunter. If The Rock does show up, I have Gunter versus...
Could you punk Orton?
No interest.
I know you've no interest, but like
No,
just
no, Punk-
feed back to Orton turns heel on Punk because of the fact that Punk stole his thunder when he came back that time.
No.
Yeah, he
Punk
did say
could
that.
be fucking injured between now and WrestleMania, you know what I mean?
I think they're doing Punk Roman or Punk Gunter.
Jesus, there's a lot to
There's so much to digest.
on the table.
It's the moving part of is The Rock there or not? Is just
There's a lot on the table.
Throws
It just comes
everything.
down to who's the head of the table.
yeah. Who is the head of the table there?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
What's that?
It's not Shane.
Acknowledge.
I'm not acknowledging any.
You're at head of the table.
I'm not
I am head of the table.
Fuck you, Solo.
Who does Daniel Bryan wrestle at WrestleMania?
Hey, like, okay, outside of Penta, who else could be coming in? Any more surprises that could affect WrestleMania?
I thought for a while, because Brian isn't signed with any company, I was like, he could show up at a Royal Rumble and he could do a little like
3 months.
best of tour. He's like, I'll show up for 3 months here and then I'll fuck off and I'll do something over
do
New
New
Japan,
Japan,
and then I'll
yeah.
fuck off and
Everyone would trust him because
yeah.
he's so he's
He's
like,
just like he's not gonna fuck
Everyone
anyone
will
over.
sign a handshake agreement for a couple of months.
the only man.
But he
don't need a written
won't fuck
contract.
anyone over.
He would actually. Everyone would be grand with that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know, everyone loves him. That boy
He
can
has
work.
said he'll be at All In Texas in
Yes, he has.
June or
So
July.
That doesn't mean he won't be
He's
at
planning some
WrestleMania.
matches. Any Royal Rumble surprise entrance that you'd be particularly excited about? My number one with a fucking bullet, and I hope this feels like it's the year they could do it, and I hope they fucking do it. Please let Ken Shamrock do it.
Oh no, that would be.
I want Shamrock
For Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame,
Friend of ours.
friend of yours.
Friend of the other pod.
Friend of the other pod.
Hall of
That's a
Fame
wrestling
is,
fan.
Hall of Fame's going to be in Las Vegas
Wrestling
as well.
Raven, Godfather. Could they all
That's
be?
big.
They're all in the archives.
Fuck your dead podcast.
I fuck your dead podcast.
I hope all
Where's
our
Ken
old,
Shamrock now?
all our old podcast friends are the Rumble surprises. Raven, Godfather, Shamrock.
Shamrock.
Dijak.
Your numbers will go up by
DDP.
Your numbers will double. You'll have 2 people
We'll have
listening.
four.
We're getting about 14 a month. Just so you know. Yeah.
Because of the
more than this one.
On his dead, apparently.
because of the Loco Rumble being on the same night as the Royal Rumble, we know we're not going to see fucking
I am
Moose showing up for TNA.
I am
We're not
going
gonna
to be so drunk for the
Young.
WWE Royal Rumble.
Will
by the
we
time that
see,
rolls around.
It's going to be a hard night.
Ricky Starks.
No.
I think Ricky Starks is going to be back on Dynamite
I believe
ASAP.
Yes, I think he's going to be.
And he's gonna work a storyline
I think he's
based
going to
on-
be there sooner than Dynamite.
We're not talking
i.e.
AEW.
tonight, World's End.
Yeah, I think
Fuck
like
AEW.
I think the TNA surprise is
Right, Shane.
the most likely surprise entrant I envisage in the Royal Rumble is Joe Hendry.
Oh, I don't think. I
you
don't
believe
even think
he'll
that's
show
a
up?
surprise.
Yeah.
I think that's a guarantee.
Yeah,
I
I
think.
said, do you believe he'll show up?
I believe.
In who?
I believe in Triple
Matthew,
H's
that's for
booking.
Matthew, that clap.
No. Fucking.
Oh yeah, I think Joe Hendry's in. My dream is to see
100%.
Shamrock. Any other takers? Any other surprises?
I mean, there's
any
zero
other
chance of Shamrock
Undertakers?
in the Rumble. Like less than zero, I'd say.
Why?
Ken
He was
Shamrock-
wrestling for TNA fucking 18 months ago, 2 years ago.
Like, he's just not. I just.
Yeah, but look how far Kurt Angle's
lads.
passed off.
30 spots, and you're thinking Shamrock.
Yeah.
I think he's got more chance of showing up the local Rumble.
I would love if actually.
Fuck it, Joe.
I would love if WWE did that thing with tag teams. I think that's a really cool.
Tag Team Rumble.
No, but when like tag teams come in as one number,
Yeah, that's a fantastic.
I think
idea.
that makes sense.
I think it makes no
The
sense.
Samoan SWAT team in '96.
Yeah, you're kind of like, oh, for fuck's sake.
No, what would happen?
One gets knocked out, and then
No, but
he
what-
joins the other in the aisle as he's coming.
Yeah,
and then
but
they
in a real, if this is like, if kayfabe is there, then everyone's just going to go, here, I'll form tag team with you, and we'll both go in together, and we'll just win the Rumble.
no,
Well, no, because
you
then
have to
you're
be a tag
inviting
team.
extra men into the Rumble.
No, I'm saying here, Kevin Owens, I'd call it Kevin Owens, here, we're going to go into the Rumble together.
Kind of look like Kevin Owens,
Yeah.
but okay.
You've had to tag at least
Large
for 20% of your
men,
matches.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Gets really
Kevin Owens and Randy Orton have only tagged for 18% of their matches. In
Therefore,
WWE.
they are excluded.
What?
I don't know
Nick
who- like,
Aldis.
there's not that
Nick
many.
Aldis.
Nick
Good
Aldis.
to be a
Wade
good
Barrett.
surprise.
Perfect.
Wade
time.
Barrett could happen.
Wade Barrett is your Nigel McGuinness pick. Yeah.
Wade Barrett knocks out Drew.
Back to the TNA stuff. I'd love to see PCO showing up. I'd love to see Jeff Hardy showing up.
I don't want to see Jeff Hardy showing up.
I don't ever want to see him on telly again.
Yeah.
All right.
And he's grand out singing in the woods to himself.
Yeah.
You know,
Like us all.
just out there.
I feel there'll be very few surprises. I just
Triple H doesn't really book a lot, and the ones he has booked haven't been great.
PCO would be
Well,
great.
I think the issue there is there isn't actually many surprises left.
It's not like 95 where Vince McMahon was like, we have fuck all of our roster.
Here's Dory Funk.
Here's fucking Dick
Mil
Murdoch.
Mascaras,
Yeah.
you know, I just
Mil
don't think...
Mascaras 97 eliminates
was
himself.
90.
Like,
97,
if
yeah.
you think of, like, the nostalgia picks that you would normally, like, you'd
The
like to
nostalgia
see
picks
normal...
now were from 10 years ago. The nostalgia picks
Yeah.
probably are Wade Barrett.
Yeah, I know. And, like, you go back to real nostalgia, like, Great Workers...
Mark Henry.
They're fucking old as shit now, you know what I mean?
Mark Henry.
I think like it comes to number 29 and Cena's music hits, and but he doesn't win it. Would be good to build into that storyline. That he just always fails at everything leading up to his last year.
JBL.
Class.
What happened?
Well,
That would
he is
be-
around the indies throwing fucking haymakers at
He's
people.
on a mad run, but yeah.
Big fan of the documentary as well.
Yeah, that had to
did.
get taken down.
Yeah,
YouTube.
It'll be back. Will it be
I
back?
don't know if we have to edit it.
it's a lot of work,
It's a lot
isn't
of
it?
work, man. My laptop can't fucking edit anymore.
Well, you know...
So, just one final note in terms of the road to WrestleMania that we've so haphazardly fucking made
absolutely
a
bashed
hames of
together.
fucking...
Nailed
Throw
it.
off shit at the wall, John.
Throwing shit at the wall. Who wins the Elimination Chambers? Somebody suggested Cody Rhodes.
I suggested Cody.
I think that's a good shout.
I think Cena's in it and doesn't win it, which is another good
No,
thing.
he asked who's going to win it, not who's not going
No,
to
but if
win
you
it.
work out who's not winning, then you're left to one
You're
person.
left to one person.
Yeah.
Let's go through the whole WWE roster. How long do we have on
Dragon Lee, Santos Escobar.
Punk.
They're not winning it.
Punk.
Like
It's hard to know. Who
we're
the
never.
fuck
We're
knows?
never.
I would not.
I don't know
I
who's in
would
it.
not book Punk in a fucking Elimination Chamber match a month before WrestleMania.
Just in case.
In case he falls apart.
He did War Games in Hell in a Cell in the space of 2 months.
He did.
I would book CM Punk in a bubble wrap match. Every match between now
Fuck
and
you, Morro.
I
WrestleMania.
would use the old.
You leave CM Punk
Where you just
alone.
pop- everyone
That
pops the bubble wrap.
That man is
No
like steel.
bumps.
I'd book
bumps.
him in that old 1970s Southern stable, the kids' glove match.
Yeah.
Just giant kids' gloves that just move
A
around
coal
the ring.
miner's glove match.
But real soft, real
We
gentle.
just like
are they
silk.
talking about?
I have no idea.
We're talking about protecting CM Punk
So he can
Betwixt-
actually wrestle or
Twixt now and
I put
Mania.
my back out, stretching my hamstrings.
Yeah. See,
that-
and
You
you,
out for Mania?
I think I'm out for Mania, man.
and you are significantly younger than CM Punk.
Not that
No,
much.
no. Not significantly.
No, you're not significantly. You're a little bit younger than
You
CM
are
Punk.
significant.
Do you think? So are we going with Punk Rollins with AJ and Becky in there?
We don't have to.
I don't
But
wanna.
I think that's a direction.
I'm going Punk
that's
Roman, lads.
Lads, keep in mind, it's
Mark
WrestleMania. They'll want
my
a degree of a
words.
kind of big marquee,
Punk needs to get main event.
It's Punk
That's
Roman
the whole
night two.
thing.
Punk
That's
Roman
the whole
night
thing.
two.
What's his favor? Going to Paul Heyman, going, can you get my wife booked? That
doesn't-
needs to pay off.
Surely he could do
It
that
needs
himself.
to pay off. It doesn't need to pay off between now and fucking April. Like,
It does.
I think it's Punk Roman night 2.
All he wants is that main event spot. He's going to get.
Cena Cody night 1.
But how does Roman have a title?
I think Rollins is the hardest guy to book.
He is, yeah. He
And
feels like the odd man
that
out.
seems to be the case, like most WrestleManias.
Yeah, because
where the fuck is he?
Because
going?
he's kind of a dullard.
Does he go up against
I agree.
Rollins and
Totally
Penta?
agree.
Rollins.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
I would much rather see Ray versus Penta.
So would I, yeah.
Whatever you're having, lads.
Rollins Penta, I'll be up for that.
Fine, whatever. It's Rollins.
Why
I
not?
don't care.
Fuck it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Rollins is just like a bit like, oh, all right, Rollins, go
He's
on.
definitely not like that's the thing. I mean, as good as he is,
He's positioned as being like on the Punk Roman kind of
Level.
but he's just not like, you know what I mean?
I
Like
think
he's not
he is.
nowhere near as interesting as
Yeah,
any
he's
of
not
them.
interesting, yeah.
And like obviously, like when he's in the ring, that 12 to 15 minutes he gives you is like technically, yes, it's better than what Roman Reigns does in the same 15 minutes. But like, which one are you more invested in? It's always Roman.
What is wrestling?
Like, what is wrestling?
Sammy and Rollins, maybe?
Yeah, why not?
Fine. Yeah. Whatever you say for Rollins, I'm just going to say, yeah, okay, fine.
That's the sign of a good worker.
Greg Valentine and Red Rooster.
Hey, Greg Valentine looked good there.
That's
the other
good
day.
shit.
He was smiling.
Good shit. You could do Jesse Ventura versus Seth Rollins.
Jesse Ventura will probably be involved in some way. Look,
He hasn't been there
lads,
40 years, he said.
Now we lost Shane.
what
He's
can
gone
we
on
say
Power
with,
Slam
like-
2007.
Power
Pick
Slam
someone
2008. Like, I'm just kind of looking.
Pick someone out of the...
There he is, Tyler Black against Nigel McGuinness.
Book it. WrestleMania.
Oh wait, no, that's Austin Aries. They all kind of looked the same back then. No, Tyler Black against Nigel McGuinness. Yeah, there you go. Seth Rollins,
whatever
Nigel
happens, it's
McGuinness.
going to be a fun show, an exciting road.
I think we're in for a very good WrestleMania.
Getting ready to just limber up our arms a little bit just so we can all do a little...
WrestleMania 24 was
Point
one
to
of the
the
best
sign.
cards I've seen in years. Highlights of this superb event
show
were the
these
Money
off?
in the Bank ladder match, Shawn Michaels versus
Look
Ric
who I
Flair.
opened here. First person I see. Guess who the first person I saw when I opened this
Seth
is?
Rollins.
Actually, no. I need to change this page.
Is this being the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show?
If I position this kind of like this, does it look like MVP is on the show with us?
Who's that?
And AJ.
Oh, that's from
Thanks to
Morton.
our special guests, King AJ Styles and MVP.
Special guest Chris Benoit.
For fuck's sake.
It's the page I opened up on.
Yeah, where's the poster?
And Chris Saban.
That's not the middle poster, is it?
There's no middle poster.
Kurt Angle, now that's a beautiful poster.
The wrestling machine, Kurt
I don't think
Angle
this
as
one
well.
has. This is the Wrestling Annual. It's not
If
the-
anybody has any suggestions for WrestleMania matches, stream matches,
or how to end the podcast.
how to end this podcast.
What are we finishing on?
Sid.
We don't know. We don't know.
I was trying to set up for us fucking pointing at the sign and nobody fucking bought into it.
What sign?
Where's the sign?
The WrestleMania sign you have there.
Yeah.
Looks like we're all booked, boys.
Is this?
We're going to
We're pointing at the plans.
WrestleMania.
I can't afford it, man.
You point
I
at the
can't
plans?
afford it. It's too expensive.
We're not going, no.
We're going to watch WrestleMania after watching.
We could get a dongle and watch it on that telly.
Left hand, Morro. Left hand.
Is it left hand?
I don't know.
This has been a Wrestle Fan Wrestling Show. Tell us what you think you'd like to see. Stay safe, stay sane. Boom.